Welcome back, beer tubers. Today we're taking a look at BrewDog's Paradox Isle of Arran. This is a series of beers that BrewDog's been doing. Paradox, which is one of their Imperial stouts, and they've been aging them in different whiskey casks. And this happens to be Isle of Arran's whiskey casks, and it's a big 15% beer. I previously reviewed the Paradox Smokehead, which used heavily peated, the casks that had previously held peated whiskey in them, and I have not had this version, so I want to get it reviewed because Arran's not a very peated, if peated at all, whiskey. So big thanks to my cousin Joe for sending me out this glass from the UK and for this bottle. So let's get the appearance first. It's completely pitch black. Nice brown head on there, a little bit of a head, some alcohol legs for sure, 15%, huge beer. The aroma, yeah, that's way different than Smokehead. Much sweeter. A lot of dark fruits coming through. It's very floral as well from those casks. Some vanilla notes, some oak tannin, some spiciness in there. But you get big, sort of semi-sweet chocolate notes verging on bitter chocolate. A lot of raisin and fig notes, big fig notes. That's what I'm getting as far as the dark fruits go, which this beer has a nice dark fruit component to it. I'm guessing they're using maybe some molasses and other sugars to kind of bump up the alcohol. And that's the other note I definitely get on there. A lot of molasses character. Some caramel notes in there as well. So smells great. Let's dig in. Cheers. Oh, it's very nice. Very smooth, very creamy mouthfeel. Oh yeah, the whiskey cask in this beer really enhanced the beer. I think it'd be almost too sweet. It's on the sweeter side. The nice part about the Smokehead is the peat character help the sweetness and keep it in check. It really kind of helped balance out. This one balances a little more to the sweet side, but it's still really nice beer. So on the back of the bottle, I am drinking batch 60. It says best before March 23rd of 2015. I think this beer could age much longer than that. That being said, it's drinking great right now. It's very smooth for 15%. I don't know how they're hiding the alcohol in this thing. Up front, big sweetness, caramel notes, those dark fruits, really sweet, raisiny fig dark fruit component to it, which is really nice. Middle of the beer, very creamy mouth coating, very full body type of Imperial stout. As it approaches the end, you start to pick up those chocolate notes, semi-sweet chocolate, darker chocolate. But the finish is really nice with a lot of that whiskey character coming through. You get the nice oak component, the vanilla and tannins that kind of come through. And the whiskey character is very nice. The finish on the beer is nice and long. Get a lot of like toffee in the finish. Nice, that whiskey character, a lot of cherry character emerges as well. That sort of pleasantly, well, it could be cherry from the malts, but it also could be some of that sherry, slightly oxidized note that could have occurred when the beer was in the whiskey cask, and that adds really nice complexity to the beer as well. I don't know if they're using oats or not, but it's got some nice creaminess. It's not an overly roasty beer, which is nice. There's a very slight roasty coffee character to it, but it's pretty mild in the overall scope of the flavor. A lot of dark fruits, caramel, and chocolate notes with the whiskey cask as the predominant flavors for this Imperial stout. And sort of within the sort of caramelly, sugary notes, you sort of pick up some of that molasses character I was getting on that nose. It sort of has that turbinado, brown sugar-esque component to it as well. But it's very sweet up front, but the finish, I think that between the alcohol, which might add a little bit of that spicy character, and the tannins from the whiskey cask really help balance out the beer and the finish. Don't make it overly cloying. So, really enjoying this beer. I'm gonna go A- with it. I think Paradox is one of the better, if not best, beers that BrewDog does, and I like the fact that they're using different whiskey casks with this beer, because you can kind of see how much those casks affect the flavor. And it's worked with the heavily peated whiskey, and it's worked with a whiskey that I'm not too familiar with, but I'm guessing it's more along the lines of that toffee caramel floral, softer type of whiskey note, probably a Highland whiskey. And recommend checking this one out. So thanks again to Joe for the glass and the beer. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.